Well, I really had to think about this. Okay, so see, I got this piece on that rolled over because this is the side of the stucco that still has to be protected. From here over, this is going to be underneath the deck, so that's going to be papered. That doesn't necessarily have to be papered at all when you're underneath the deck. See, none of this was papered. And even, actually, I take that back. The only thing that was on the outside was this, and there was no paper on the inside of that at all. Okay, so because that's on the inside of the deck, you could leave it without papering it. I might paper it just because if anything is on the inside, it'll stay from the inside. It'll protect the plywood on down, and then the water can hit the concrete down there and then weep out underneath or whatever. I'm not anticipating any water, but I still have to think about it, right? And so I cut that paper back up along there, see? Because that's going to be on the exterior now. Same thing with that paper that was right there on that plywood. It was on the outside, remember? So I had to cut that out, and then I cut this and kind of folded it up because I'm going to put that other plywood in right here, and after I get it in, I'm going to fold this over, and this was wrapped around this piece. Remember, I had it stuck out, and I wasn't quite sure what to do with that, and it was like this wide, and I had nothing to staple it to because this is concrete below that. So I took some other stuff, just some little pieces, and folded them in half because the stuff that I put on the back side of the plywood, the extra pieces that I cut off, I saved that, and so I folded that and went around like that, and then I was able to staple it on that. I overlap it because see, you look and see the water on the outside of that. It's going to come down and then go over on the top of the next piece. On top of the next piece. See right here, on top of that piece. So I put in some little funky pieces in here. See? And that's just going to fold over when I put that plywood in there. And then once I get that side piece, before, let's see, yeah, before I do the back, I am going to fold that down, and then I'll put paper all the way down this, you know, from here to there. So see, this piece, remember this piece went all the way over to there, so I cut that, and then I folded this kind of like a Christmas present or a birthday present. I just folded that on the back side and then lifted it up. Well, I cut this one right to there because from here is the deck, on the inside of the deck, and from here is the stucco, so that paper had to come down. See, so I folded it, so I put that down, and then I put another piece on top of that. Wow, I really had to think about this, didn't I? Because see, here's the piece here that I had, that's stucco, and then from here, this way, is underneath the deck. So then when the water goes all the way down, peekaboo, this plywood went all the way through there, and I think I'm gonna notch it, you know, just a hair short or something, and you know, if the water gets down to there, then it's gonna go down beyond this and down at the bottom of the stucco outside. It's not gonna come in here, okay? if you're a little confused, just wait, you'll see. Okay, so now my next piece of plywood, I'm going to cut this piece in here. And I had, remember I notched out the stair tread. I had to do that to allow this plywood to come down and build this box down here. Okay, so I didn't want the step inside that box. I wanted that plywood to come all the way down, and now it will. This little outside corner right there is not that outside corner, but if I were to wrap that with plywood, it's that tip, and that's just how it's gonna roll. Okay, enough of that. I've got to get out there and measure my plywood here and get this first one cut and get it put in here. Now see, the beauty of these next few pieces, I don't have to put any paper on outside before I bring it in here. I could just bring the raw piece of plywood in here and get it in there. Okay, I could do that, and then I could put paper on it later. In fact, I don't have to put any paper from here over, across, and over to there. You follow me? That's on the inside of where my deck's going to be. So I don't have to have it underneath the deck, because that paper in reality stops right at that metal line. You know, the bottom of the stucco. That's where the paper really stops, with that plywood going from there up. You see what I mean? But I'm probably going to do it just for kicks. Put the paper on there anyways, because I can, and because I'm right in the middle of it. If anything, hey, maybe it'll help, maybe it won't. Who knows? I'm telling you, these metal brackets come in handy. I almost forgot. See, before I put this plywood in, I've got to take this 2x6 out, and I've got 2 screws into it. Remember, that was holding up the back side of the stair tread, and I pushed it up just a hair so it's sloping down. And if I were to put that plywood in there, there's no way I could take that out. And so I need to take it out. So I thought, what am I going to do? And so I cut a 2x6, set it right down on the bottom of the concrete. I'm going to put a little bracket there. In fact, I'm going to use this bracket here for that. I held it up there at the angle and then cut it. And then I screwed this bracket on the 2x6 before I lifted it up here. And then I just screwed it into there. See that little tab? Well, that works for all kinds of stuff. I mean, I used it for all kinds of things. In fact, if I leave these here, I'm going to change these to those the non-rusty screws, those kind. I've got some 1¼ inch. Well, there's some 1¼ inch ones right there. See, I'll have to remember to do that, because I think I'm going to leave these little brackets up there, and then I'll go ahead and put some liquid nails, some construction adhesive in there. But this was like a temporary thing, because I'm not done with these stairs yet. I still have to continue the stringers up and stuff, and I can't finish that until I put this box together. Okay, so I'm just re-supporting this, and I've got my nice little brackets there. I'm going to take that one out, put another bracket down there, pull that thing out of there, and I'll be good to go. Well, that's all I have for this time, but I'll be back with more videos.